CNN continues to investigate yesterday's shooting at Plaza Azteca. We're learning the victim had a no-contact order against the accused gunman, Malik Gill. We're continuing to gather details about Gill's criminal history. Court documents show the 24-year-old has a violent history in both North Dakota and Minnesota. He was a convicted felon out of Minnesota, which meant he was prohibited from having a gun. Court documents say in May of 2020, Gill pistol-whipped a party-goer, threatened others with the gun, and fired 2 shots outside a Moorhead home. He was sentenced to 90 days in jail and 5 years of supervised probation. At the time of yesterday's shooting, a warrant was out for Gill's arrest on charges of domestic assault. Court records show Gill was charged on April 21st for shoving his girlfriend to the ground, grabbing her by the throat, and pushing her. She's the same victim in yesterday's shooting. We've reached out for an update on the condition of that woman and her 8-month-old child, who was also shot, but have yet to hear back. We're also learning that the restaurant will reopen tomorrow. The owners posted to their Facebook page today saying they're taking today off for the victims and their employees. Now let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson on some showers moving through the area. Hutch?
Thanks, Stacy. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a gray day across the valley. The Fargo-Moorhead area seeing some of those showers kind of split around us. Not too soggy here, but our neighbors in northeast North Dakota from the Devil's Lake Basin into Grand Forks seeing some soggy events tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at that radar first and foremost as we see those showers progressing from the southwest to northeast right now. There was a batch this morning that just missed Fargo. It's now moving through Duluth. But look at this heavier batch here making its way into the Grand Forks area in northwest Minnesota now. Polk County all the way out towards Fosston and Red Lake County and Pennington County areas seeing some showers of rain. Stutzman County also seeing the showers. They're all moving northeast. This batch over here moving fairly quickly at about 45 miles per hour, but this batch here moving a little bit more slowly. Rainfall estimates here where you see the greens are over 1 inch, and a couple of spots, well, are approaching that inch mark in the light greens as well. We have rain that for some will be snowflakes by tomorrow morning. Then freezing weather into the weekend has already prompted a freeze watch for our western counties. We'll see cold weather here. I'll have hour-by-hour details on what you can expect, and we'll track where the rain showers are heading here. Stacy, in a few moments.
All right, thanks so much, Hutch. President Biden is headed to Asia for visits to South Korea and Japan. But first, he met with leaders of both Finland and Sweden, who are both concerned about Russian aggression. Natalie Brand has details from the White House.
President Biden welcomed the Prime Minister of Sweden and the President of Finland in the Rose Garden 1 day after the countries applied for NATO membership.
They meet every NATO requirement and then some. And having 2 new NATO members in the high north will enhance the security of our alliance and deepen our security cooperation across the board.
Sweden, along with Finland, which shares an 800-mile border with Russia, are both seeking to join the alliance because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
That was a watershed moment for Sweden. And my government has come to the conclusion that the security of the Swedish people will be best protected within the NATO alliance.
The countries are seeking fast-track approval, but Turkey's president repeated his opposition today. Joining NATO takes unanimous approval from all current members.
We are open to discussing all the concerns Turkey may have concerning our membership in an open and constructive manner.
President Biden is expected to quickly sign a new $40 billion military, economic, and humanitarian aid package for Ukraine after a Senate vote on the bill today. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul put a hold on the legislation, saying there should be an inspector general to oversee the spending.
Anyone concerned about the cost of supporting a Ukrainian victory should consider the much larger cost should Ukraine lose.
Wednesday night, the Senate unanimously confirmed the new U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Bridget Brink, filling a 3-year vacancy. The same evening, the U.S. once again raised its flag at the embassy in Kyiv. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The Swedish and Finnish leaders met with congressional leaders this afternoon. Congress has to ratify the treaty binding the alliance. A closely divided House approved legislation today to crack down on alleged price gouging by oil companies and other energy producers as prices at the pump continue to soar. The bill, backed by House Democrats, would give President Biden authority to declare an energy emergency that would make it unlawful to increase gas and home energy fuel prices in an excessive manner. It directs the Federal Trade Commission to punish companies that engage in price gouging.
And we will do this and other things to help with the price at the pump. A lot of it is about supply, and those are negotiations that have to go on about supply. Stop price gouging of the American people. Let us have the market manipulation tools that we need for the FTC. That's what these two bills will do.
Just as Americans gear up for summer road trips, the price of oil remains stubbornly high. The measure was approved at $217 to $207. Republicans unanimously oppose the bill, along with 4 Democrats. It now goes to the Senate, where a similar bill is pending but facing steep odds. The suspect accused of killing 10 people and wounding 3 others at a Buffalo supermarket appeared in court this morning. The 18-year-old has pleaded not guilty to a murder charge for Saturday's attack. Authorities, including the FBI, continue to investigate the possibility of hate crime and terrorism charges. Authorities believe the man kept a personal diary of his planning on the social media platform Discord. Members of the NFL's Buffalo Bills visited the scene of the shooting yesterday, handing out groceries and serving meals to residents now left without a grocery store.
To be out here and to see people smiling and laughing again, and that warms my heart.
Officials in New York have announced an investigation into social media companies the suspect allegedly used to discuss hateful ideologies, including Discord and Twitch. Both those sites have promised to cooperate with law enforcement. Health officials are investigating a growing number of monkeypox cases around the world. The CDC is tracking the viral infection, with unusual clusters being reported across Europe and Canada, with outbreaks of monkeypox typically linked to travel in Africa. Now, at least one case has hit the state of Massachusetts. Doctors say it's a man who recently traveled to Canada, but health officials say there's no need to panic.
This is not going to spread and get into the general population and cause an epidemic like coronavirus.
The disease, which was first discovered in monkeys, causes a rash that can look like chickenpox. It's a virus that originates in wild animals like rodents and occasionally jumps to people. Health officials say they're monitoring monkeypox in the U.S. They say that patient in Massachusetts is currently in the hospital but is in stable condition. The head of the FDA is facing questions from lawmakers today about the nation's shortage of baby formula. The testimony comes a day after President Biden took the rare step of invoking the Defense Production Act to boost domestic supplies. Deborah Alfarone reports from Capitol Hill.
With many store shelves empty or near empty, the head of the FDA is addressing the nationwide baby formula shortage.
I recognize that many parents and caregivers have been unable to access the infant formula and critical medical foods that they need, and they are understandably frustrated and anxious.
Dr. Robert Califf is asking a House subcommittee for more money to address the growing problem. But lawmakers want to know the FDA's role in getting to this point. In February, leading manufacturer Abbott Nutrition shut down its Michigan plant over safety concerns contributing to the shortage.
We need to make sure this plant is safe to open. But it's hard to see any evidence that FDA has made it a priority to get this plant cleaned and cleared and back online.
It makes me question which side the FDA is on. Are they on the side of Abbott and industry, or on the side of the American consumer?
The hearing comes as the White House is trying to formulate a solution for parents. President Biden is invoking the Defense Production Act to boost domestic supplies.
I know parents all across the country are worried about finding enough infant formula to feed their babies.
The president is also launching Operation Fly Formula to import more product from overseas to speed up delivery.
She drinks 8 to 9 ounces per bottle.
Heather Dye is searching for more formula for her 9-month-old daughter, Olivia.
I went as far as Grantsboro, North Carolina, and they had 4 bottles on the shelf. But by the time we got there, it was gone.
With supplies running low, she's considering cutting back on formula until she can find some more. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The House passed 2 bills last night to address the shortage. Both now head to the Senate. This has been an unprecedented year for the avian flu and wild birds. The University of Minnesota's Raptor Center has taken extra precautions with injured birds during an unusual year for the highly pathogenic avian flu, as that's particularly affected owls, eagles, and hawks. Since March 28th, they've taken in 169 birds that tested positive. Only one survived. But now, after a cool and wet April, sunny, warm weather is back, and that's good news for birds.
So as the weather gets warmer and drier, we know that virus doesn't survive in the environment as long.
The latest data shows cases coming down dramatically since late April. There's been debate over whether people should put up bird feeders. The Raptor Center says they'll likely update their bird feeder recommendation at the start of June as cases continue to go down. On to another bird that wasn't so lucky. A Minnesota State Patrol helicopter pilot is recovering after a duck went through the windshield of a chopper late last night. You can see the feathers on the flight equipment. State Patrol was returning after assisting local law enforcement in Wabasha County just after 10 p.m. when a flying duck hit the helicopter. No word on the condition of the duck.